Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. It's been a while, life is crazy, but let's get straight onto it. Today I am going to be talking to you guys about tips about choosing on what university you're going to go to. I thought this little video at the time would have been really helpful for me, knowing sort of what things to look out for to know that it's the right university for you. Obviously, everyone will be different, everyone likes different things, but hopefully these are sort of general tips that help you decide on sort of what university is the best for you. Before we start, make sure you press that subscribe button down below and give this video a massive thumbs up and comment down below if there's any other videos you would like to see. So tip number one is making sure your course is the one you want to do. The course obviously is really important. Half of that is probably the reason why you're actually going to university, so you need to make sure you're going to enjoy it, especially if you're going to do it for the next 3 years. It's a long time for you to do a course that you don't want to do, and imagine going into first year and then dropping out and reapplying. It's a whole process, so I definitely would recommend and making sure you go through your course, go through the modules that you're going to be doing, and make sure you're reading through exactly sort of what will entail it. For example, I made sure all the modules are what I wanted to do. First year was more generalized business for me, I do marketing, and then the last 2 years of my university degree have been much more focused on marketing. So that's mainly what happened for me. I was happy to go through that general business because it's good to get a general idea on certain other areas such as finance, etc. Obviously this will be different for many different courses. For example, arts courses will probably obviously be more centered at the beginning. It always just depends, but make sure you read through exactly what your course will entail. Another thing for me was exams. I don't like exam-based courses. That's just me personally. In A levels, I did all exams, no coursework, and I found that too much. I didn't enjoy it. So when I went to university, I wanted to make sure it was a coursework-based course, which it is, and I've enjoyed it so much more. Tip number 2 is make sure you're walking around the city and you enjoy it. The city is obviously going to be where you are based, most likely. Obviously depends on what university you're at. You need to make sure you know sort of what nightlife is there's going to be, what restaurants, any part-time jobs. Just walk around, make sure you're enjoying the city. I did that when I was at Lincoln. I walked around the city. It's a small city and I enjoyed it. It was nice. Obviously part of me thinks, oh, what if I went to a different university such as York, because I absolutely loved York, but at the same time my course was better here, and I'm definitely glad I took that. Just make sure you're happy with the city you're going to be in, and take it all in. Make sure you get a feel for what the city is like. Tip number 3 is look at what societies are available. Now this was actually a thing I looked at because I wanted to make sure there was lots of activities I could try, or if I wanted to join. Obviously I didn't end up joining any till second year, but the ones that I did join I loved. So obviously make sure if there's a sport, there's that there. Any interests, there's that. Make sure you're checking what activities are available, what sort of things you can do, because part of that's going to be part of your social life, and you want to make sure that there's things you want to do there too. Tip number 4 is making sure you look at the accommodation available. So when I came to Lincoln, I looked at all the accommodation at that time that was available, so I knew I had various choices for when I decided to choose which accommodation place I was going to live at. Obviously it's a first come first served basis, and I didn't get my first choice, but I was so happy with where I ended up really in the whole scheme of things. So make sure you look at the accommodation, because you want to make sure that you know what you're going to walk into, you know where you're going to live, you've already got a feel for what that space is like. Tip number 5 is make sure you know what transportation is available. So one thing I actually didn't look at before I came to Lincoln was the transportation from Lincoln back to home. And I should have looked, because the train links aren't that great. It would take me a long time to get home on the train. I'm glad I can drive this year. So make sure you're looking at how you can get home, what's available, but also other things like, do you have to get a bus to go to Tesco's or anything like that? Because here, obviously, one thing again I didn't look at, Tesco's is a fair walk away. It was quite a walk away. Obviously you can get online delivery, which I ended up doing, but just make sure you know how you're going to get to places, and if it's easy, and obviously check the cost of it as well. Tip number 6, this is actually my last tip. It's a nice short video, but my last tip is to just go with your gut and what feels right. I went with my gut and I'm glad I did. I'm glad I went to this university. I'm glad I went with what felt right. I went to the one that was actually closest to home, which is crazy. I looked at all ones really far away. So I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I went with where felt right. When I was walking around the university, it just felt a little bit more homely. And that was a big thing for me. So make sure you go around the uni, you go around everywhere, and make sure it feels right, and just go with your gut, because at the end of the day you need to trust your gut, and that's what's right. So it's a nice short sweet video. I hope this was helpful. If it was, again, give it a massive thumbs up, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.